Hello, Tom here with another video. Now this video is going to be looking at this. This is my new camera. I say new, it's not new, it's from 2011, so almost a decade old at the time of recording. This is the Panasonic HDC SD800. Now I saw this for sale on Gumtree for £50 and I thought, right, I'd like a new camera because the one I'm actually using at the moment is the Sony Handycam. The one that I'm actually filming this video on at the moment is the Handycam. Let me have a quick look at the side of it. It's the Handycam HDR CX240, and this camera that I'm using now, the one that you're watching this on, has got a bit of a design flaw, and that is that the intelligent autofocus is constantly whirring, and because of where the microphone is positioned on the front of the camera, which I'll show you in a minute when I switch cameras over, it picks up the sound, and you can hear that now. I'm not going to edit this. What I usually do is I use the background noise reduction option on iMovie to remove it, but it's still not very good, and you can hear it throughout all of my videos, and that's why I decided to get a different camera, which is this one. Now, I looked on YouTube for a review of this camera, but because it's so old, I just don't think there were many consumer reviews back then made by like amateurs like myself. I will say now that I'm not an expert when it comes to video cameras. I'm literally a consumer user, so I basically buy what works. This camera that you're watching this on was about £179.99, I think, about 4 or 5 years ago, and I believe they are still selling it in Argos in the UK for £150. But it's got this design flaw, and I just thought people should really be made aware of that. It's fine, you know, it's fine for doing like this kind of stuff, blogging on or vlogging on YouTube, but it's just that annoying noise really kind of ruins the experience. So, like I say, I bought this. It was about, from what I can tell, it was about £700 when it was new back in 2011, and it's actually a really cool little camera. One of the things that I did notice about it is that it's actually got a fan. It's actually got a fan inside it. It doesn't make a lot of noise, but you can hear it if you hold it up to your ear. And it does, well, it does exactly what you would expect it to. It's a camera that, yeah, takes video. So yeah, let's just turn the thing on and have a quick look at some of the actual functions of the camera. As I say, it does have a fan here, but you won't be able to hear that because it's quite silent. So I'm going to turn it on. Now, interestingly, this camera, let me just unhook this, does have quite a few little slots on it for different types of connections, but it does have a full-size full-size SD card slot for you to put your cards in. So that was interesting. I've got one of these like adapters here that I can use, but that's cool. Another cool feature it does have is that it has a touchscreen menu, which might not sound like much now, but back in 2011, that most definitely contributed to the exorbitant price that this camera commanded. It does have some other nice features, such as it has an automatic lens cover, so when you put it into different shooting modes, it automatically closes. Again, probably doesn't sound like much now in this day and age, but back then that was probably quite a cool feature. So got no card in at the moment, as it's telling me, but what else can you do with this? Well, as you can see on the side, it's got full HD 1920 by 1080 progressive, 20 times zoom, 35mm wide angle lens. Yeah, and one of the cool things about this is that you could actually get a fitting for it. It would go on the front of the. Let me just try and unscrew this, because you've got the unscrewable sort of hood on here, with a light as well. You could get a thing which would allow you to use a 3D kind of converter. So you could get this thing here, attach it to the camera, and then you could shoot in 3D and then watch it back on compatible TV that could play 3D images, which is interesting, shall we say. So yeah, that's the camera in all its its glory. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch to using this camera, and then have a look at this camera, just so you can see the difference in quality for recording. Okay, so here we are now recording with the Panasonic, and this is the camera that I've been previously using. This is the Handycam HDR CX240. As I say, it's not really fair to compare these two because this was always released as a budget camera, and it served me quite well for the last couple of years. It's just that noise that's just really annoying. What I usually have to do is, as I said in that other clip, is go into the settings on iMovie and then click on the remove background noise, and it does dull some of the whirring from the autofocus, but it's not great. I can already tell immediately from just looking into the viewfinder on this Panasonic camera that it's already a better image, and it just looks nicer, a lot more contrast. So yeah, this is the as I say, the Handycam. It's a decent little device for what you pay for it. It does everything you'd expect. You've got a little catch on the other side over here where you can open the lens cover. Again, you've got your video viewfinder. There's my Xbox. But yeah, it's very basic, but it does the job, and there's not really a lot of controls on it. You've got something there for a photo, you've got your zoom, and you've got start and stop, and then the USB cable, which is connected to the camera. You have to plug that in to a USB plug, so it's like kind of hanging by the USB. It does take a micro SD, and it's got a HDMI out port on it, but that's pretty much it. And because of that placing of the microphones, there's no way to add an external microphone to this camera. So if you keep Intelligent Auto on, you're always going to get that noise. I mean, you can turn it off and that eliminates the noise, but then you've got a fixed focus, which is not ideal. So if you're going to buy one of these, if you do see them cheap in Argos, then just bear that in mind. Otherwise, it's decent, but that design flaw is really quite bad. But otherwise, you've got a 54 times zoom there, and it's quite light. It doesn't feel super cheap. It's quite nice in the hand, but yeah, this really was just for me to look at the difference in quality between this camera and that camera, and hopefully going forward there won't be any of that weird whirring in any of my future videos. This is really just for my entertainment, to be honest. I mean, not really much else to say. Sun shining, I suppose. That's a positive. Yeah. Right, I'm going to stop now. Bye. Okay, so I thought I'd probably do a little bit of a test outdoors with both of these cameras. So this is the Sony Handycam, just field next to my house, just to give you an idea of how it performs outdoors. So yeah, there you can see. It's all very exciting, I'm sure you will agree. Bit of a field scene. Nice sunlit uplands. Right, now I'm going to swap over to the Panasonic so you can see the difference. Okay, so this is the same field using the Panasonic. It does have image stabilization, so that's probably why it looks so smooth. And I just generally think it gives a much better image. Obviously, as I said in the other clip, this was about £700 when it was new, so you're going to get quite a quality picture for that. But yeah, this is just to show you the difference in the recording quality.